before we start. So I guess this is a good time to start. Welcome
All
everyone to
right,
Crypto
awesome.
Attack. Sorry for the
Today
long wait.
we had to make
Have
sure that
an
everything is
AMA
being
presentation
it's
with Solodex,
absolutely spot
and
on before we
we have
start.
our guest here,
Joshua,
Joshua.
along with
I guess
a
this is a good
representative
time
of
to start.
Solodex.
Who will be introducing themselves in a couple of seconds. But let us first of all do the formalities, guys. Make sure to join Solodex on the Telegram, and also make sure to follow them on X Space. Do well to check the website that is currently pinned at Crypto Attack, and make sure to do all the needful before our guests would begin introducing themselves. Of course, guys, this is not a financial advice. Everyone must ensure to do their own research. So, guys, welcome to Solar Dex, the first and only Omni hybrid Dex with gaming and NFT in mind. And our guests are essentially here to answer some of our technical questions and also give us a walk through the project. So, you're welcome, Mr. Joshua, and our guests. Can you give a very good introduction of yourself and could you say hi to the community?
Yes. Thank you for the time. Appreciate everybody being here and tuning in to hear all the fun details. My name is Joshua. I'm the CTO at SolarDex. I specialize in developing EVM and Solidity-based products for the past 4 years. I started in crypto field, DeFi field, I would say around 2020, 2021. Started really advancing in it more in the 2022 era. I have a robust background in GameFi and Web3 innovations. At SolarDex, I help guide our technical team in achieving the pioneering product advancements and objectives to ensure that we can keep up with this fast-paced DeFi ecosystem that's going on and make sure we stay in front of the game pretty much. I will pass it on to our CMO, Ian, to give him a quick introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. And my name's Ian. I'm the co-founder and CMO of SolarDex. Pleasure being here, and thank you for all the listeners tuning in. Been an investor in the crypto space since like 2019. Been with SolarDex since the inception, about a little over 2 years ago now. I've primarily been the go-to guy for partnerships and marketing for solar. Lately, as of now, though, I've been managing more of the upcoming centralized exchange listings since we've been getting a lot of hype. For me personally, communities first for me. I like to keep them top of mind. That's how I operate. With any suggestions, any feedback that we get, we really true to our mission and vision of creating something revolutionizing and breath air to the solar or to the crypto space as well. So that's a little bit about me too.
All right, thank you so much. That was a beautiful introduction, and it's absolutely nice to actually have you guys here. To talk about solar, which provides an ease of use trading experience by aggregating liquidity across multiple chain and dexes. Only as solar can you actually personalize swap experiences. So we just go quickly through the business of the day. What is the inspiration behind solar decks, and why do we need solar decks right now?
Yeah, definitely. So the real big inspiration behind SolarDex, when we were thinking of it, we're like, what's going to spark the next bull run, right? It's going to be GameFi and simplicity. So we really wanted to marry the idea of both into one spot and provide that as well as a really slick, fun game that has Web3 integration with it to the crypto space too. So we created the decks for simplicity, and we created the game for fun. And not only fun, but to help onboard new community members too. So the inspiration behind SolarDex really is our goal is to tie everything into one ecosystem where Solar, the token, is used for everything, kind of like an L1 in a sense. So with this bear market that's been happening for the last 2 years, like 3 years, it's been a while. I go kind of cross-eyed just thinking about it, but we've been building our products out and networking in the bear market so we can treat this time as more of a building era for us. So with that, we can bring the best products to our community and new users alike, because the thing that's truly missing for new users and experienced users is simplicity, right? especially with those first getting into DeFi, getting into crypto, it's what do I do? And there's so many options that you can do. So we want to create an ecosystem that is simplistic in nature and fun to use. And why new users will inevitably come to SolarDex is because it's not going to be 10 clicks to get to the same spot. We want to do it in the less amount of clicks that you have to do and have you truly understand it from a simplistic standpoint and not need to get into the weeds just to do simple swaps between chains or anything like that. So that's really the inspiration behind it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. It's actually nice to know the inspiration behind certain projects. Talking about SolarDex, it's absolutely impressive that it's actually coming to solve something in the crypto space. So thank you so much for that. So we would like to know, what is Solar? How can users actually make the most of SolarDex?
Yeah, great question. So SolarDex, what we're all about, like I said, is simplicity. And how to make the most out of it is usage. So with our hybrid DEX, it's exactly what it sounds like. As far as our knowledge, we're the only hybrid DEX out in the space right now. And so what we mean by hybrid DEX is that there's an idea in Web3 that NFTs and DeFi are separate and can be kind of considered quote unquote competitors too, right? So we want to marry the idea of DeFi and NFTs. Instead of NFTs just being a cool PFP or something that sits in your wallet, we want to actually have practical use and bring more utility to the NFT space. And that's where our hybrid DEX comes into play. So with our hybrid DEX, we have incorporated NFTs into a theme. So it's a customized trading and swapping experience, as well as we're incorporating NFTs into users creating a profile too. So instead of having something that really just sits in your wallet and is cool to look at, why not give it more utility? And so with that brings us to our game too, where a lot of GameFi games out there right now are game first, Web3 later. They either go, hey, we have this cool game, you should play it. And it's a Web2 game that they're trying to incorporate into Web3. Well, for us, we've been building for 2 years and have Web3 experience. So we actually have a fully functional Web3 game. And now we can really focus on the user experience and making it even more simple. And it's already been developed too. So with SolarDex and our game is really aimed to utilize NFTs as well. So we have our own in-game NFT marketplace where users and players can buy NFTs, use them as playable characters. They can trade for other NFTs out there, or they can sell them off just to buy new ones too. So that's fully integrated into our game. And the biggest thing to have users make the most of it is just use it, we want a very seamless game experience, and that's what we're bringing, as well as our hybrid DEX being an aggregator. And so what that means is we support a ton of EVM chains. And so when a new token launches on an EVM chain, we actually aggregate that token onto our DEX, so it's continuous first mover advantage as well. So any new tokens that launch are going to be readily available on our DeFi exchange, as well as incorporating NFTs, not only for themes and for profiles, but we're actually having 2 factions so we can bring a competitive and fun nature to a DeFi exchange as well. And what I mean by that is we have our Serpents and our Sentries factions. So we give out weekly, monthly, and quarterly rewards for the winning faction, whether it's trade volume, the challenges that we put out there. So it also brings a new, fresh perspective to our hybrid DEX where we can actually have a competitive nature, and it makes the trading and swapping experience really fun for the users too.
All right, thank you so much for that very awesome introduction. Of course, guys, we after the questions from my end, we would be tilting towards the questions from the X space. Of course, I still have a ton of questions from my end. And then we would be going into the questions from the live segment. Of course, guys, make sure to join SolarDex on the Telegram community, just in case we are not able to touch on your questions. This is just basically to enlighten you about SolarDex and also to give you some ideas of what SolarDex is all about. Of course, do check their website. Any ideas of where to download your white paper? Do you have a white paper?
Yep, our white paper will be on our website too, which we'll send out a link for. If you join our Telegram and join us on Twitter, we have a link tree full of all of our links. So our website's really readily available for everyone too.
Okay, awesome. So could you tell us about SolarDex token and some of its token utilities?
Yeah, so our token, truth be told, we're doing a private launch here in a couple weeks. So tune in for that. Once again, follow on Twitter and I guess it's called X now, but our Telegram too to get more updates with that. For the Solar token itself, like I said, our goal is to build out this ecosystem where the token acts kind of like an L1 in a sense. So with the game itself, new characters, new skins, new weapons, all the NFTs are going to be tradable in Solar and purchasable by Solar, as well as we don't have staking currently, but we're building that out right now. So we want the token itself to be in the ecosystem and as the native coin to actually make purchases so that we can bring even more utility with the token too. And that's currently as well as in the future too with future products.
Okay, so yeah, I got a question concerning that. Guys, I will be asking those questions in the live segment. Of course, we'll be picking some questions for the live segment, 5 at most, and then I'll be throwing those questions to you. So someone just took an observation from what you just said, so taking it down. Meanwhile, we are going to be asking those questions in the live segment. So how can we partake in the early alpha of the game, and how can we use our NFT in the Solar DEX?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're in pre-alpha right now. We're still developing. In the next month or so, we'll actually have our own customized level as well as 5 new playable characters too. So right now we actually have a signed agreement with Epic Games to actually have our game on their platform. So it'll be easily accessible. And if anyone wants a link to that too, ping us in our Telegram or type in game in our Telegram and it actually pulls out a link as well. And then for the NFT usage too, is that, like I said, we have our own in-game marketplace for NFTs too. So once we have a free character and our current characters, we're listing for super cheap. So any airdrops that happen or anything too, folks can get into that game and purchase those with that. And so any NFTs that you buy in the game, they're playable characters. So you can either sit on them, you can trade them, you can sell them. It's the idea of true ownership behind the NFTs too.
So are there some of these NFTs? You mentioned that we can actually trade those NFTs, develop new skins for them, and talking about the marketplace. Okay, could you say, talking about the NFTs, what are some of the values of these NFTs? Does it have does it have a category? Is there a specific NFT that we can get that has greater value, than the other?
Yeah, so that's a goal with the NFT marketplace too. So we will have characters that have higher value, have different aspects to them, whether it's less damage taken or anything like that. So one of the great things about one of our partners is that they actually have smart NFTs that they can incorporate a lot of different aspects to. With that, we don't know what we don't know about them. It's a fresh new idea. So we had multiple calls with them to get more insight into this. And so the limits are endless, really. And so with the NFTs themselves, the values will differ. There's going to be cooler skins than others, listed for more. So it acts as a true NFT marketplace, but just for in-game assets. So you can trade them, you can swap them, you can sell them. It's pretty much an NFT marketplace altogether.
Okay, awesome. It's actually nice that you gave me that insight. So, Joshua, do you have something to add, or
no, I think Ian's nailing it on the head right now. Pretty much hitting every aspect and angle that we have. So he's doing perfect.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Joshua. So let's talk about your staking program, because I could see your website. You have a staking program, and the presentation. I think you can just go to that. Talking about your staking program. let's get to know more about the staking program, within the SolarDex, and how can we, get some incentives.
Yeah, so truth be told, we launched on Solana originally. There's a running joke in the community that every time we try to do something, whether it's launch our token, launch our NFT project, anything of the sorts, Solana either crashes or the bear market happens. So with that being said, we're actually migrating off of Solana just because we've had so many technical difficulties with them. And since we're moving more to an EVM based, that's why we're migrating over to AVAX and launching our AVAX token here in a couple weeks. But with the staking itself, and we want to keep this kind of true and tried, previously with our NFTs themselves, they could stake them for a percentage of the DEX fees. And so we're currently migrating those over with our DEX. And so that's currently in the works. And we're making it, once again, a simplistic avenue to get this over there and create something pretty similar to this. So that was the previous utility. Now we're migrating it over, and that's something that's going to be in the works here in the next couple months too.
Okay, we're actually looking forward to that. So guys, please keep that in mind, and that is why I said you should ensure to follow them on XSpace. You do have, I think I ventured to the X space of SolarDex, and I found some announcements, and I had to follow your website to stay tuned to some of your innovations, your latest innovations. So guys, make sure to do that. Join the Telegram community and follow them on X space for more about the staking and also some of the incentives. So let's get to know about your security right now. So could you tell us about the SolarDex DAO? And how secure, is the token that we make within the platform? Can you give us some insights into that?
Yeah, security is always top of mind. So our hybrid DEX being an aggregator, like I said, we inherently take liquidity from the biggest EVM chains out there, like Uniswap and PancakeSwap. So we're really piggybacking off of them. And the security is there because there are some of the most heavily audited platforms too. So we're picking back off of that security as well. We are going to be a native DeFi exchange as well on the Kwai network. So once we have our DeFi exchange on the Kwai network, we do plan on being fully audited, making sure that the security is top of mind, just because that's something that we've always operated on and something that we're going to continue in the future, just to make sure all of the investors, all the users are peace of mind when using our products too. So the audit will be done on the Kwai network.
Okay, so the audit will be done on the Kwai network. All right, so that's awesome. And we are actually looking forward to the audit, that will actually make the minds of those who are seeking to invest in SolarDex. It will actually bring the mind of those who wants to invest in SolarDex, into the project, to give them some confidence and some peace. So guys, stay tuned to that, and SolarDex will be working on that soon. So has your token been launched, or should we expect a date for the launch?
Yeah, so our launch, we're having a private sale here in a couple weeks. We're in talks with Gempad and Fjord Foundries. So we're gonna go with one of them. We're currently doing a KYC with Fjord currently. So depending on which route we go, we're gonna announce that too. But it will be here in a couple weeks. Once we solidify, that's when we'll make those announcements too. So once again, our X and our Telegram is the best way to keep updated with that. And so once we launch, we have a listing date planned for early April as well. So it's not going to be like, hey, we launch and then all of a sudden people are waiting for us to be listed. Our plan is to launch in a couple weeks and then like a week or so afterwards, just because it's crypto space. So we got to give ourselves a little leeway too. We want to list soon after that too. So as soon as the private sale happens, the token will be live for the public sale too shortly afterwards.
Yeah, and we would actually be looking forward to the listing. It's nice to know that you're going head to head and no wasting time. And immediately after the launch, we will be looking forward to the listing. Okay, so yeah, so guys, you can see you would find on the website. You can see a tutorial video that is being played by a presenter to a free game. It looks quite attractive anyway. So kudos to you guys, man. You guys are doing a great job. And we really can't wait for the launch, honestly, because I'm quite a gamer myself, and I find Solar Decks quite impressive. So, could you give us a breakdown about what to expect in the near future? Especially with the Solar Decks DAO.
Yeah, so like I said, in the future, near future, our launch is happening here in a couple of weeks, listing a week or so afterwards. But on top of that, with our game, we plan on releasing the beta with a customized level, 5 new playable characters. This is what our teaser video is actually showing too, with everyone getting sucked up in an orb. They're going to drop into this new level, and you're going to have more access to new characters. And we're pretty excited about it because there's always shooting games that are pretty similar, so you have to kind of pick and choose which one you're going to be best at. We're trying to bring a brand new feel to this with the UI. Our custom level is going to be in the outer space level as well. So we want a full-blown battle royale Web3 game in space. We pride ourselves on kind of being anime and manga fans too, so we're updating the UI as well to kind of fit that bill. So we're trying to bring a fresh new feel to gaming itself, as well as Web3 gaming and GameFi too. So that'll be dropping in the next month or so as well. We're just finalizing the integration with that. But the level that you see in the video too is our pre-alpha level of our Serpent homeworld. So it's actually Unity basic level. We're just doing a lot of testing on that. With the Hybrid Decks itself, that'll be launching here soon, as well as a little sneak preview. One thing that we're always asking ourselves, and how can we do this even more, is kind of marry the idea of real world application with Web3. So this is way down the line, probably Q4 of this year into 2025, but I don't want to give too much away, but it is going to be something that we aim to have in stores where you have a QR code and can scan that, and then you get your own personalized character because you bought the product and scanned that QR code that you can use in the game too. So that's kind of like an alpha that I want to drop, but we're currently developing it, so I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, sure. Talking about the UI UX, that sounds quite impressive, and we strongly await the launch of the HyperDeck. So we will move on quickly now to the questions from the X Space. I have about 4 questions from the X Space. So if you're ready, you can read those questions.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, thank you. So this user is asking, how powerful is the marketing strategy of Solar Decks? Not to lose the prospect in the near future. Because if you don't advertise your product, in the right places, you risk losing the momentum of the project. So what measures are you taking in this regard?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So with our marketing strategy, we want to focus a lot on the current users, but as well as bring in new users continuously, right? That's the biggest aspect of this question, is how not to lose prospects. So with that, we always want to keep it fresh and innovative with what we're doing. Our marketing, we do a lot of interviews to give updates. We have our own podcast that we post that gives updates too. But a big thing, especially with the game, is that a huge part of our marketing is partnerships with NFT projects alike. So one goal for us is that we have this continuous partnership with NFT projects where their community can get involved with the game as well. Sorry. So we can have those users come and utilize the game as well. So what I mean by those partnerships is that we want to partner with these NFT projects so that they can have their own NFTs for the Hybrid Decks, but as well as choose their NFTs that they want to play characters in the game. So it gives extra utility, like I said, to their community. And can have their NFTs be live in the game too. So with this as well, another huge part of our marketing strategy is to have contests for creators. So we want to have these quarterly or semi-annual contests where we can have submissions for either new level additions with new characters, and have the community and creators get involved too, so that they can build their following, attract a new following, and really build their portfolio as well. So we're attacking it a lot on one, interviews, and two, partnerships to keep the momentum going and keep partnering with these we want to say prestigious products or projects, because that's who we want to vet out and make sure that their mission and vision align with ours, and that we can help their success as well as our success too.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I guess that answers that question. So the next user is asking, many projects look great only on their white paper and roadmap, but facing a lot of difficulties when trying to implement the project mission and end with failure. So how does Zolodex overcome every obstacle, in its project development?
Yeah, that's a huge question, and that's something always top of mind for us. So, like I said, for the last 2 years, it's been a bear market, right? There's been very little projects that are looking to launch or have launched or anything like that. Because if you launch at the wrong time, that's just setting yourself up for failure. So with us, like I said, we took that as a building period where we could build out our products and really fine tune them before we release them out into the public. So with what we've done and how we overcame every obstacle in project development is literally trying to break our own products. We test it, we break it, we test it some more, we make our continuous improvements, and we actually try to set up ourselves where we can stagger them, and whatever milestones we want to hit at certain times, we make sure that those are achievable and that we can actually hit those in stride too. So a lot of projects have all these difficulties with the road paper or white paper and roadmaps because they're not even, I don't want to say they're not even putting in the time and effort to make sure that those milestones are hit, but that's something that we're trying to do and that we've done in the past too. So when we say, hey, we're releasing this product Q2 or Q3, we actually have a fine-tuned product and can release it when it's ready. So simplicity and user experience is top of mind for us, and that's something that we don't take lightly. And so we're going to try to break our own products within our development team ourselves. And then once it's out in the public, we know it's a fine-tuned product and that we set ourselves up so we can make those adjustments for the community and take all that feedback in stride and make sure that our products are the upper echelon of the crypto space.
All right, thank you so much. So can you hear me? Can you confirm you can hear me?
Yep.
Can you confirm
Yes, I can.
if you can hear me? Yeah. Okay, so just want to be clear about the first question. The user is asking, the success of Zolodex will depend on the hype of new DeFi or new blockchain projects. So what's the target of the amount of capital to be raised through Zolodex in the first year and projection for the future? And what will be your marketing strategy to achieve this target?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So the plan is to do an LBP on Fjord, and they don't have hard caps. So if you'd like more information on LBPs, I can share that documentation. Just once again, message us on Telegram or on X as well. So the goal is to list on every centralized exchange we talk to. So of course, more capital equals more exchanges. So with that, the marketing strategy to achieve the target is to keep talking to centralized exchanges, and not just the middle tier to lower tier, but we want to be listed on every centralized exchange. So the more capital raised goes to more centralized exchanges, which provides more stability and more utilization for the public to take a part in too.
All right, awesome. So guys, as we slowly tilting towards the live segment, do want to send your questions, and I will be taking those questions, and I will throw you to our guest. He has been an awesome speaker so far, and he has done justice to some of the technical questions that came from my end and some of the basic questions. So I'm really sure that for some of you that must have visited the website, I'm sure that you have come up with some awesome questions, and he has actually answered pretty much some of your questions that you have in mind. But of course, just in case you have more questions, please make sure to send your questions to the Binance Live, and we'll be picking those questions, 5 questions at most. And if we do not have time to answer those questions, you can always throw your questions, to the Telegram um, community. So quickly now, I would be asking, the fourth questions. The fourth question. So the user is asking, tokens from all projects have main utility and practical goals. So can you tell us what is the main role of your token in the ecosystem, and what are the real world utilities and use cases?
Yeah, so the main utility or the main role of our token solar in the ecosystem is, like I said, we want the whole ecosystem to treat the solar token as an L1. So we want any purchases, any in-game assets, anything that we add into the ecosystem to use the solar token as the native token, essentially. So this makes it super practical, so you don't have to go to different chains to actually make purchases. We want everything to be in solar. So we're trying to build that as an L1. The real world utilities and use cases, like I said, we're always thinking about ways to bridge real world utilities with the DeFi space. And so we have, like I said, I can't give too much away because we're currently developing it, but we want to bring actual products to the real world where you can get involved with the crypto space and our DeFi exchange and our game through these aspects too. So with that, whatever products that we provide in the real world, we'll always have it tie back to our game or our hybrid DEX. And so that's going to be the main driver of real world utility is, all right, I got this product. Now what can I do with it? We can do some in-game assets. We can trade on it. And honestly, the possibilities are endless.
Okay, that's absolutely awesome. I'm trying to see if I can read, the question for, the last user for the X space. But of course, I have an observation, from what you have said earlier. This is just my personal question. Aside the HyperDex, which gives utility to NFTs, what else does it do? Let's say, and how have you actually planned to make users experience quite simple within the platform?
Oh, that's a great question too. So the main use of simplicity on our DEX is, like I said, we're an aggregator. We support a ton of EVM chains. That's why we actually migrating to EVM for it to be in one type of coding language of Solidity and to have that ease of use there too. So with that, since we support these EVM chains, like currently, if you want to go from like ETH to a different chain, you would have to click in the top right button on the exchange, switch those networks, kind of go into the weeds a little bit of it. But we've actually incorporated that cross-chain capability in the swap function itself. So you can actually swap the chain right from our DeFi exchange, not have to do it in your wallet and go through all this whole process. So what I mean by simplicity is, like I said, I want to take what could use like 10 clicks down into just a couple clicks. So how do we reduce the clicking that the users have to have in the exchange itself? And that's what we're really building on. And that's what our swap functionality is really going to hit home, is that it only takes a couple clicks to do cross-chain capability with EVM chains. And that's what we're doing so we can eliminate the hassle of the original process of doing it too.
I have finally found the last question for the X space from Lena. So he is asking, or she is asking, sounds like a female name. So is SolarDex currently having events or airdrops for users? And can you tell me some information about what programs are currently going on?
Yeah, so airdrops will be starting next week. We have a lot of airdrops lined up leading up to the private sale. So with those, we don't have hard dates yet, but our goal is next week to start releasing those to the community as well, to attract more users and new users and really have everyone take a part of it. So once again, follow on X, get involved in our Telegram, and then you'll get updated with those dates that those are happening, and we will announce those as well.
All right, guys, very important to stay updated. you have to stay updated. Join the Telegram community. Follow them on their space. Stick your eyes, get your eyes glued to their website, and essentially you would not miss anything. So I've taken some questions now from the X space, and I think the first person is just asking the question that actually came to my mind. I was about to ask you that question. So this user is asking, tell us when solar pre-sale and launch will be.
Yeah, so it's kind of a backhanded answer, but the private sale is happening in a couple weeks. Like I said, we're going through a KYC right now with Fjord, and we're in talks with Gempad. So we're nailing down which one we want to use. We don't want to be a project that uses multiple launch pads at different times, just because that's not something that we want to do to our community. So I can give a timeline of next couple of weeks. And like I said, the listing date is going to be shortly after the private sale concludes. And so with the hard timelines, I can't give specific dates, but it's in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Yeah, so we are looking for, again, we have to stay, it's very important, guys. And that's why I'm really making emphasis on these guys. You have to be a part of the Telegram community. These informations are very, very important. And you cannot stay up to speed with the latest updates and innovations without being a part of the Telegram community. So the next question is talking about your listing. So do you have plans to be listed, to list your token on other exchanges? Because I think when you were actually making your contribution, you spoke about your token will be on the Quay network. So this user is asking if you have plans on listing your tokens on other exchanges.
Yeah, so we have a one DeFi exchange listing lined up already, and we have 3 major centralized exchange listings as well. So our main goal right now is to provide the liquidity with that, and that's a lot of the capital being raised is going towards centralized exchanges. If you look at our tokenomics, we've allocated a lot of our token to centralized exchanges, so that we are heavily focused on listing. So with that, like I said, after we launch, we have 3 to 5 major centralized exchanges solidified, with a couple more in the works. So that'll be the listing that we do on multiple exchanges, just to make sure that we're hitting everything with the ground running too.
Okay, I guess you mentioned the fact. I think you actually explained. You talked about the solar token utilities. So this user would like to know more. So could you tell us more about other utilities of the solar token?
Yeah, so the primary utility of the solar token is, like I said, in-game assets, trading, buying everything on our ecosystem. Right now is primarily going to be the hybrid DEX and the game. We have staking in development right now, so users can stake the solar token, but the main utility right now is for purchasing NFTs, trading NFTs, and selling NFTs for solar too. So we want to unify and standardize on the solar token and have that as a primary currency within our ecosystem too. So users can get involved with the solar token by getting into our game, buying those NFTs, selling NFTs for solar. And that's going to be the primary utility that we're using, and the staking coming soon as well.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm still trying to get, the fourth question from the live segment. Meanwhile, while I am still focusing on that, I do have my own question. I think you spoke about the weekly reward, monthly reward. So what can we do, to qualify for the weekly rewards and also the monthly reward? Best steps.
Yeah, for this, it's going to be taking part on our hybrid DeFi exchange. Like we said, you choose a faction when you log in with your wallet. So you'll choose Serpents or Sentries. You'll be able to choose your theme from there as well. And so the monthly, weekly, and quarterly rewards will be primarily based on trading volume. So we'll pay out into solar tokens as well. But with the the winning faction based on trading volume and the challenges that we put forward. The winning faction will be rewarded in Solar. And so once again, the main purposes of this is one, usage, but two, making it fun for the users as well. Going off of the simplicity once again is that once it's a step-by-step process. So you don't have to go in, go onto a website, choose all this stuff. Once you log in and create a profile with your wallet, you'll choose your faction too, and then you'll be a part of that faction so that when you're doing trading, we can get that data in analytics, and then the highest volumes or whatever challenge that we put forward for the factions, the winning faction will be airdropped. So we're pretty excited about that. We haven't seen that in the space either, and it's pretty fun. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Looking forward to that. The next person is asking a very important question. Personally, I think it's an important question. So he's asking, do you have to buy NFT to play the game?
Yes. So you'll have to buy an NFT off of our in-game marketplace. We do have a free character too, so you don't necessarily need to buy an NFT because of that character. But if you see a character that you like I said, we plan on listing some characters as super cheap just for the airdrop holders to get involved and have different skins as well. So on top of that, we're going to be consistently releasing NFTs on the gaming marketplace that will be bought for by Solar or for use by Solar tokens. So kind of a two-part answer. One, we got a free character, so you don't necessarily need to buy an NFT, but if you like an NFT on the gaming marketplace, that's when you use Solar to purchase.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I'm going to be picking the last question from the segment, guys. If you have any more questions, please make sure to throw your questions to the Telegram community. So far, so good. Our guest has been absolutely impressive with the answers. And I am really mind blown with the way he sort of answered some of those questions. I really understand everything. I think I can say that I have a very good understanding of our sort of decks right now, personally. So kudos to you guys. So what are the specific, I think this person is asking, what are the specific goals of your project? I think that's the final question. I think you did touch on this from the start, but I think this person would like to know more.
Yeah, I'm always down to expand on this too. So our true vision, right, is simplicity. And the reason for this is because a lot of new users, especially like the main wallets and everything that people use is usually like Coinbase or anything like that, just because it's simplistic in nature. It's a one-stop shop for everything. So we're taking this idea and expanding on it within the DeFi space and the NFT space too. We want a simple user experience so that either veteran users know how to use it already, but new users and new user acquisition, they don't have to be an expert in order to use the products. So with our goal, we want to create a whole ecosystem where, like I said, we want to eliminate clicks. We don't want it so like, hey, here's a step-by-step on how to get set up. Here's steps 1 through 20. We want steps 1 through 5. You log in, it reads your assets, you can start playing. And that's exactly how we have it set up right now. You use your MetaMask wallet to log into the game. It reads your wallet, reads the NFTs that you have, and then you go to character selection and you can select the character that you want or the weapon you want to use too. So our goal is to keep on this trend of simplicity, have a fun game, because it doesn't matter if it's Web3, Web2, Web 5, 6, 7, 8, doesn't matter. If it's not fun, people aren't going to use it. And that's what's going to draw a lot of Web2 gamers to this game, just because it's going to be a fun game. That's our primary focus. We already have a working marketplace in there. We already have the crypto integrated with this. So now we're focusing on the UI and providing a really fun game for the users that you can buy NFTs, trade NFTs, and sell NFTs on too. So with that, we're really excited about that. And I think that's going to be key for getting Web2 gamers there too, because inherently, I think Rich said this in a previous AMA, but Web3 is really, when you break it down, it's a buzzword. And that's going to make a lot of people upset when they hear that, but it's true. Like if you go to a Web2 gamer, go, oh yeah, you're Web2 based. They don't know what that means. They go, no, I like playing games. So that's why we want to make it simplified so we can get that Web2 experience in Web3 and really hit home on the fun aspect of the game, bringing something fresh and new into the GameFi space and having this product that creators can get involved with and have multiple NFTs for communities to be a part of too. And we want to have that fun aspect on the hybrid DEX and bring that simplicity to the hybrid DEX as well. And I think we're doing a great job at that so far. And this is just a milestone too. We have all these fresh new ideas coming in through our Telegram, through our community, going, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? We're very active on Telegram and Discord too. So one thing I always try to encourage is give us feedback. Like a lot of things with Web 2, especially for these new users, is that they produce a product and go have fun with it. And then you can leave comments or anything like that going, I don't like this aspect, I don't like this aspect, but what are they going to do about it, you know? So with us, I really encourage the community to get involved, because this is how we get to bring a premier product to you. Something that you want to use, something that's going to be used, and something that you're looking forward to in the future too, based on creators creating new aspects, giving us feedback, letting us add in stuff that people really want to see on this. And that's the beauty of Web3 and the beauty of ownership, is that you can own this process. We can help you see your creations come to life, and that we can really take this in stride with the community feedback and be a premier ecosystem from now and into the future.
Okay, so far so good. It's been amazing, and I think with this we have come to the end of AMA, with Solar Decks. So thank you guys so much for coming out, for taking time out to answer some of the questions, and also the questions that came from the experts and also the community. I want to say a big thank you to the team, and also a big thank you to Crypto Attack for making this AMA, a possibility. So do you have any closing words for us before we wrap up the session?
For me personally, like I said throughout this whole thing, I feel like I'm throwing my head against the wall right now, but follow us on X, join our Telegram, get involved, and that's how you're going to keep updated with us. We have a lot of good things coming soon in the next couple weeks, in the next month or so. So stay updated, ask us questions. We have a Medium out there with all the updates. We have a podcast out there. We pride ourselves on being super transparent so you can see our faces. But we're trying to take solar to the moon and have our own product for our community. So we're excited about where we are, and we're even more excited about where we're going. So don't be afraid to get involved and ask those tough questions to us. We love those. Some of our biggest supporters are the biggest skeptics in the beginning, and they're ride or die now. And when I say Solar Fam, it feels like a family with our community, and we love it. We want to keep that going, and that's something that we're not going to stray from.
Down the curtains. Now, of course, so much respect from Solar Decks, and we would really be glued to that. So many questions also from my end, but then again, just like you said, we would have a very proper follow-up of Solar Decks and also some of the promises